Sorry.
Hello, and welcome to Nowhere Video's Tune-Up. I'm Todd Hilton, your host and mechanic for this program. As you well know, auto maintenance and repairs can potentially cost hundreds of dollars, but with the right tools and the right knowledge, you can save a ton of money. In this program, I'll show you how to perform these basic procedures yourself. In this first edition, I'll be showing you the most basic of auto maintenance, the oil change. Keeping your vehicle's oil changed on a regular basis is a vital part of your engine's performance. And here's the patient, my 1984 Buick Regal. Now before you get started, the first thing you should do is get the car ready for the oil change by putting it on some car ramps. Be sure to go very slow up the ramps, as this may take a couple of tries to get it lined up. As soon as you pull up to the ramps, it may be a good time to get out and make sure the ramps are aligned with the front wheels. Now, as I can see here, I'm going to have to back off a little bit and move this ramp over a couple of inches. Looks like the same thing with this. One thing very important about using car ramps is you have to make sure that you're on a fairly level surface. If not, you're going to have a problem getting the car on the ramps. Now, once you're lined up, go ahead and get the car up on the ramps. Once again, be sure to go slow. And once you're on the ramps, be sure the vehicle is in park if it's an automatic, or in neutral if it's a manual transmission, and be sure to set the parking brake. Once your car is up on the ramps, go ahead and pop your hood. And now it's time to get started. Okay, now the next thing you want to do is, if you've got one of these creepers, let me tell you, they're a very valuable tool. You can get that under there. In this particular oil drain, it has the center piece in the middle that just unscrews, and then it also has this valve here that you definitely want to open. The reason for that is it makes the oil actually go down in the pan. It's a little breather valve. Okay, once you've got that ready, go ahead and get that under the car there. Okay, and looks like now we're ready to start. Okay, you also want to make sure you have the appropriate socket wrench in hand for what size oil drain plug you have. Now position your drain pan directly underneath your oil pan. Now on some vehicles, the oil drain plug is actually mounted vertically. In that case, you're going to want to put the drain pan out farther, because when the oil comes out, it will be coming out from the side and basically spewing forward. As it gets closer to running out towards the end, it's going to start draining directly down. Now in this particular vehicle, we don't have to worry about that because the oil drain plug is mounted horizontally. I'll go ahead and proceed to remove your oil drain plug. You can usually get it just a little bit turned, just enough to break it free, just like any other bolt. Now, you can go ahead and completely loosen and remove your oil drain plug. Now the oil draining should only take about a minute, and it'll start slowing down here, meaning that it's almost completely drained the oil. As soon as it's done draining the oil, you may want to wipe off your oil drain plug and the area around it, or the area around where it fits. Now, go ahead and wipe off the bottom of the oil. And replace the oil drain plug. And tighten it. Wipe off any excess oil. Then you can tighten it with your socket wrench. On oil drain plugs, hand tightening with the wrench is plenty tight. There's no need to torque. Okay, now we're ready to move on to the oil filter. Now, to prepare the new oil filter for installation, it's recommended that you coat the gasket with fresh, clean motor oil. If you keep your oil changed on a regular basis, you may find that you may not even need an oil filter wrench to remove the filter. Be sure to move your oil pan directly under the oil filter, because there will be some oil that comes out of the filter. Alright, get your disposable gloves on, and reach up and grab a hold of the filter. If you change your oil on a regular basis, you shouldn't even need a wrench to get this off. It should just turn right off. Now, as I said, some oil will come out. Be sure your pan is directly under the oil. Your pan will catch any oil that may fall. Now, when you've removed your filter, there will be some oil inside the filter. Go ahead and just dump that in your oil pan. Now the next step is to clean the oil filter housing. Now the next step is to wipe off the threads of the oil pump. Take your shop towels and wipe off the threads and where the gasket seals on. Any dripping from the oil pump is normal,
so don't worry. You may also want to wipe off any areas where the oil has spilled onto. Okay, now you're ready to install your new filter.
Okay, now get your new filter and go ahead and screw it onto the oil pump. One very important thing to remember is that an oil filter does not need to be installed with a wrench. The wrenches are for removal only. Very important, hand tighten the oil filter. Usually the rule of thumb is to tighten it, and when it feels tight, then you back it off about a quarter of a turn. Now ready to add oil. Now on just about all vehicles, oil is installed here in the valve cover. You'll see a cap that unscrews. Unscrew the cap, and it's a good idea to wipe off the cap while you've got it out. Now set it aside and wipe off around the valve cover. Now grab your funnel put it in the valve cover, and go ahead and start putting in oil. A typical V6 engine like this one uses 4.5 to 5 quarts of oil. Now if you're using an engine oil additive, you may only want to put in 4 to 4.5 quarts. Sure not to overflow the funnel. This will be the last full quart that I add. Now from this 5th quart, I'm only adding half the bottle. This will allow enough room for my engine additive. And now I'll add my engine additive. Now ready to pull out the funnel and clean up. And last but not least, replace the oil cap. Now that you've completed the oil change, there's still two things left to do. Take the vehicle off the ramp, and one very important thing. Write down your mileage 2,000 or 3,000 miles away, or 2 or 3 months away. Next is to actually start your engine and let it run. It's also not a bad idea to do a test run. Drive it around the block. Make sure the oil gets completely into the engine. Some knocking at the very beginning of when you start up is actually normal, so don't worry. All this is the oil working its way into the engine. And back it off the ramps and you're ready to go for a drive. Successful test. For my oil changes, I use and recommend synthetic and synthetic blend motor oils like this one. They help protect your engine longer because they don't break down as fast as conventional motor oils. I also recommend the use of oil additives like this one. This is actually a friction reducer which helps slow down the wear and tear on your engine. You just can't beat higher quality oil filters like this one. When you use these in combination with synthetic motor oils, these actually will extend the life of your oil and in some cases allow you to go 6,000 miles between oil changes. For today's traffic conditions and stop-and-go driving, it is recommended that you change your oil every 3,000 miles or 3 months, whichever comes first. You may also change your oil change intervals to more frequent intervals, such as 2,000 miles or 2 months. These will ensure that your engine lasts a long time and you get the best performance possible. Well, that'll do it for this edition. For Nowhere Videos Tune-Up, I'm Todd Hilton. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.